Hey there, my name is Frog, and today I'm joined by Marix from OG Academy. How are you doing today?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be speaking with you. Okay, so I guess maybe like the question on everyone's mind now, given that OG Academy's been doing okay, but like, it's maybe a bit of a step down from Sprout, right? Like, could you speak a bit about your decision to go to OG Academy as opposed to like staying at a higher level team in that sense?
We haven't been doing great at LAN events in Sprout, and it was clear that there was just, for example, not the right roles and not maybe the right, uh, like the right skill there. Like for example, maybe I wasn't on the level yet. I'm not sure, but I think looking back now, I was at the level, but there was some other factors playing into that, and then we mutually agreed that we part ways, and then I got an offer by Crispy on Twitter. Like, he wrote me on Twitter, yes, I have this project going on. I'm the coach of OG Academy. Uh, would you be interested in joining this project?
Okay. So one thing I've noticed is that you've sort of been the most consistent player on OG Academy. Why do you think that is? Is it maybe just a matter of roles? Is it a matter of having more experience?
It's probably a matter of experience since I used to play against better teams, and now it's kind of a downgrade, but it's still a good skill ceiling. And probably in the beginning, people were more nervous when joining the OG Academy, like they weren't used to this kind of competition, and then probably they got a bit nervous, and then they couldn't perform that good as they used to. But now we are looking better, for sure.
Okay. I heard through the grapevines that there had been role changes in OG Academy and that you were the IGL. Is that true, or is it still to mentor?
Yeah, I took up the IGL role. Like with Crispy, I'm working together to do the best for the team. The decision was made probably by Crispy and me. Like, we talked with each other, and I was very interested in just leading the team since I kind of had a different vision when we were playing, and I thought that it would be probably better for the team, and that's why we decided to, like, the mentor had no problem with it, and he was also kind of forced to be the IGL of the team in the beginning, and he probably didn't like it that much, and I'm okay with it, so yeah.
All right. Did you ever like see yourself becoming an IGL, say a few years back when you started your professional career, or this kind of came out of nowhere, so to speak?
It came definitely out of nowhere. It's probably also not my end of career role, since I probably take it for the academy team, like, probably since I have the most experience, I'm doing it, but it won't be probably my last role, since I'm not seeing myself in this role forever, and I think I can bring greater things to another team with other roles, and not being the ideal.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is your third season of Academy League. What have been like your main takeaways from the previous seasons, and what are you maybe looking to do differently going into season 6?
I think it was semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure, like in terms of goals. And like, it's obviously a hard season since you have to play best of ones, and best of ones are kind of hard since you always have to win it's hard if you don't win the pistols, for example, and so you need to have good pistols, you have to shoot good in the pistols, that's what matters in the pistols, to be honest. And then in general, you have to really try to finish the games. Like, for example, if you have a slow start, let's say you lose the five first rounds, it's already a bit shit, because it's just, you don't have many chances going further. If you lose the second pistol, then it's also, again, a bit unlucky, and then you just try to combat that, and then you have to win a lot of buy rounds. And if you do, there are some small mistakes because of experience, it's just it's getting hard, the game. So we really have to convert must-win rounds in nowadays we have to win must-win rounds. Yeah.
All right. And now this season as well, you've brought in AWaykeN as an AWPer in place of Shyke. What does he bring to the team?
He brings probably more aggressiveness. Like, to speak about the system, we had a kind of small system on CT side and on T side that how the AWPer should play, but we kind of were always telling to how he can play it, but we were never we always have the option that the AWPer can go aggressively in a round where he wants, like if he calls it. But I think, for example, the problem with Shark was that he kind of was thinking that he's forced to play, for example, when we play strats or something, that he has to do this role and he cannot go for an aggressive peak or something. And I think we did a bad job there probably, or we kind of forced him. I, for example, had the same situation in Sport in the beginning. I kind of felt forced myself. I gave myself the pressure that I am forced into this role, but it's not like this. Like, you get the freedom, and I think that the same case was with Shark, and right now we're trying to do better with AWaykeN, since he naturally was also aggressive in the past, and he also brings kind of the aggressiveness in the team. Like, he gives suggestions, what he wants to do, then he says where he wants the players, and that's a good aspect of him.
Okay. A little while back, you played in a show match in the main team in place of Flames. Obviously, it's just a show match, and even, all the OG players now are still relatively young and a bit inexperienced, but what was it like to play in the main team with, against some of the better teams out there?
Yeah, obviously, I was with them in the bootcamp, like in Denmark. It was, I don't know when it was, I think it was it was August or September, I'm not sure. I think end of August, something like this. And they were prepping for some event, I think it was Blast, if I'm not mistaken. And then they had this show match by Steel Series coming up. And then since I was there at the boot camp, the coach was like, okay, someone wants to not play for Marix to play, since it's a nice experience probably for me. And then I was playing, obviously. It was obviously I'm saying a lot of times obviously, but it was a lot of times, it was the old maps. I think we were playing, what was it, the old train, then we were playing the old cache, and some other map, the old dust, like the dust one.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't playing very serious, but in terms of shooting, it was still another level to the WePlay Academy League. And it was quite fun, since it was playing with the main team, and it was new personality. Since I was only playing with the Sprout guys, I knew how they play, but I never knew how other Tier 1 players play and think, so It was a nice experience.
Okay. Now, I've been following your career for quite a while, because I've always loved discovering players and teams from smaller regions or countries, and obviously yourself being from Luxembourg, I've always thought that was amazing, right? But can you speak a bit about esports in Luxembourg, maybe more specifically to CS? Are there other Luxembourgish CSGO players that you're aware of? Maybe you play with them, maybe you've heard of them?
Yeah, there are other CSGO players, like, for example, there's the German league, like, which is called ESL Dach League. Like, for example, Luxembourg is there always competing, and there we have like a lot. We have probably most of the Luxembourg CS:GO players, which come up and just play together against some other German national teams, and some of them had like they are quite good in terms of raw skill, but they're just playing casually. They never try to play pro or something. Yeah, but there's like an esports scene in Luxembourg in terms of CSGO, also in other games, but it's kind of growing right now, I would say.
In light of that, was your family very receptive to you trying to pursue a career in Counter-Strike, or was it still a bit, you know, taboo, where it's like, oh, you're spending a lot of time on the computer and whatnot?
I mean, my mom was kind of, okay, good grades, then you're okay. I was also not allowed to play late into the night. That was sometimes kind of tricky since we had officials, but I kind of made it work sometimes. And my father, he was okay, like he said what comes, and then on December like 2021, I had the offer by the Sprout, and I told them, and I told my whole family, my brother, like since my brother used to play computer games as well, like he was playing quite good in Counter-Strike Source, and he was like, okay, think about it very good, and if you really want to do it, we'll support you. And they were quite good, like they were very supporting.
Oh, that's awesome. You love to hear stories like that. What do you do outside of Counter-Strike to sort of disconnect, right? Because young players, they play the game a lot, they grind, but you know, sometimes it's important to take a step back, take a breath of fresh air and disconnect. Yeah. Do you have any hobbies outside of CSGO?
Not really hard. Like I like to do sports, I like to go to the gym, and other than that, I'm just probably going out with my girlfriend, and yeah, there's no other hobbies than CS. Then I'm not playing other games or something. It's not fun. I'm just playing CS.
Well, you know, sometimes it is also important to grind.
Yeah.
And lastly, I just wanted to ask, how did you come up with the username Marix? What's the story behind that?
It's actually funny, since I used to play Minecraft, and there was like this type of guy. He was called the Marix YouTube, yeah, and okay. He had like some good ranks on some other servers, and then he was like, okay, I'm selling my account, and I was interested since he had, for example, some ranks and he sold for very cheap, and I didn't have a Minecraft account back then. So I bought it, and he was called the Marix YouTube, so I sometime decided to call myself Marix, and that's probably the story. It's actually quite a coincidence, since I'm called Max, and it's kind of in the name, so...
Yeah, wow, yeah. That is very funny. I could not have predicted that story at all. That's awesome. All right. Well, you know, do you have any parting words to the fans maybe before we go?
I mean, I would say Dream OG, but thanks to everyone who listened, thanks to the sponsors of OG, thanks to everyone, thanks to my chat sponsor, Secret Lab.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, just thanks to the sponsors, thanks for the fans, hope you're supporting us, and yeah, all right. Nothing more to say.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully you guys can make playoffs, and we'll see what happens from there.
Thank you, and glad to be here.